You've probably heard it your whole life. You're too quiet. You should talk more. Why are you so reserved? But what if the very thing people misunderstand about you is actually your hidden advantage? What if being an introvert doesn't mean you struggle with people, but actually means you understand people on a deeper level than most ever will? Because while others are busy talking, performing, and filling the silence, introverts are doing something far more powerful. They are watching, listening, noticing, and psychology shows that this quiet observation builds a rare kind of social intelligence that most people never develop. Here are the reasons why introverts secretly understand people better than they realize. First, introverts listen to understand, not to respond. Research indicates that most people listen with one goal in mind, waiting for their turn to speak. They're already thinking about what they will say next, how they will sound, or how the conversation relates to them. Introverts are different. They don't feel the constant urge to jump in. They're comfortable with silence. So instead of preparing their response, they actually absorb what's being said. They notice tone, pauses, word choice, and subtle emotional shifts. They hear what people don't say. That's why people often feel strangely understood when talking to an introvert. They can't explain why, but they feel seen, because introverts are truly present. Second, introverts are highly observant of non-verbal cues. Psychology shows that more than half of human communication is non-verbal. Facial expressions, posture, micro-expressions, eye movement, and gestures reveal far more than words ever do. Introverts spend more time observing than performing socially. They scan the room. They watch how people interact. They notice who is uncomfortable, who is pretending, who is confident, and who is hiding something. Over time, this builds an almost intuitive ability to read people. They can sense tension before an argument starts, and they can feel when someone is fake. They can detect when someone is hurting, even if they're smiling. This isn't luck. It's years of silent observation training their social perception. Third, introverts think deeply about people after interactions. Extroverts often move quickly from one interaction to the next, but introverts replay conversations in their minds, not because they're awkward, not because they're anxious, but because they process. They analyze what was said, what was meant, what emotions were behind the words. Research shows that reflective thinking improves emotional intelligence and empathy. And introverts naturally engage in this reflection. They ask themselves, why did they say that? Why did they react like that? What might they be going through? This deep processing helps introverts understand human behavior patterns better than most. They don't just interact with people, they study them. Fourth, introverts are comfortable with emotional depth. Many people avoid deep conversations. They stick to small talk because it feels safe. Introverts, however, are naturally drawn to meaningful topics. Feelings, motivations, fears, personal stories. Because of this, people often open up to introverts more quickly. They sense that this person is not judging them, not interrupting, not trying to impress them. Psychology shows that people reveal more of themselves when they feel psychologically safe. Introverts create this safety without trying, and once someone opens up, the introvert gains a deep understanding of how that person thinks and feels. Fifth, introverts notice patterns in people over time. Because they observe so much and reflect so deeply, introverts start to recognize patterns in behavior. They notice how certain personalities repeat the same habits, how certain emotional reactions come from similar past experiences, how people reveal who they are through small repeated actions. Research indicates that pattern recognition is a key part of social intelligence. Introverts develop this skill naturally simply by paying attention for years. They don't just see individuals, they see human nature. And finally, introverts feel what others feel. Many introverts have high levels of empathy. They are sensitive to emotional atmospheres. They feel when something is off in the room. They pick up on emotional energy quickly. Psychology shows that this emotional sensitivity, when combined with observation and reflection, creates a powerful ability to understand others on a deep level. They don't just understand people logically, they understand them emotionally. This is why introverts often know when someone is struggling before anyone else does, why they sense when relationships are unhealthy, why they can tell when someone is pretending to be okay, and why people often feel drawn to confide in them. So if you are an introvert, the world may have made you feel like your quiet nature is a weakness. But in reality, your silence has been training you your whole life, training you to read people, to understand emotions, to see what others miss, to connect in a way that goes beyond words. You were never bad at people. You were simply learning them more deeply than anyone realized. And the more you embrace this, the more you'll see that your quiet nature is not something to fix, it's something to value. Because in a world where everyone is trying to be heard, the rare person who truly listens becomes the one who understands the most. If this resonated with you, make sure to subscribe for more psychology insights that reveal the hidden strengths behind personality traits most people misunderstand.